What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome into this at-home video. I know it's the day after the game. Well, we're out of studio, but we're still going to put a video out for you guys and really talk about this win over the Miami Dolphins last night, 26-7. So we appreciate you coming in here, watching here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jace Andrews. And without further ado, let's kind of get talking about this, with the first thing being some injury news. There's not really a big injury to report. There's nothing that is outlandishly crazy. The one thing I do want to mention is Derek Nottie. Now, Nottie left the game last night and around the third quarter area. They were looking at his left arm. They did some testing, tried to see if he could extend his arm. Nothing really came out of it, but he did not return to the game. Now, after the game, there was no questions about Nottie. There was no really talk about him at all. Andy Reid didn't even mention him in kind of the injury list. So I don't exactly know what to make of this. The one thing I will say is he has been a huge piece to this defense, but at the same time, you kind of saw it. Karlaftis and Chris Jones can run that defensive line even without Nottie or Dana in there. So we'll have to see what the development is on that, and we'll keep you updated here on the Chiefs Porch. Kind of updating basically. Probably Andy Reid will talk, I would have to assume, possibly today, possibly tomorrow. Either way, make sure you follow me on Twitter as well, at JaceAndrews_. I'm making sure to tweet out everything that comes out with injury news and all that, along with subscribing right here on the Chiefs Report. Obviously, we had an amazing watch party last night, had 80,000 people tune in. So that's pretty cool. Make sure you subscribe, join the movement here on the Chiefs Report. We still got one more playoff game and hopefully a lot more. So make sure you tune into that. Now, let's kind of move into the game. And I want to first mention something that has been on my mind for the past about 2-3 weeks. L'Jarius Sneed is the best cornerback in the NFL, and I don't think it's close at this point. You can talk about Jalen Ramsey. You can talk about all these amazing quarterbacks, Sauce Gardner. But at the same time, L'Jarius Sneed is not being talked about enough for what he has done this season. He has shut down the likes of DJ Moore. He shut down Justin Jefferson. He has shut down so many top-tier receivers. And if you want to question me, you want to say, well, Jace, I can see him being a good cornerback, but he's not the best in the NFL. Well, who's the best receiver in the NFL? That would be Tyreek Hill. He has the most yards, right? He faced him twice this year. He allowed one catch combined to not only just Tyreek Hill, but Jalen Waddle in those two matchups. One catch. That's it. Kind of crazy when you think about it. And on top of which, I want to say this. Obviously, Tyreek Hill did have that 50-yard catch in the game last night, but it was Trent McDuffie. And the thing that they did that I was kind of surprised they didn't do more often was they used that motion. You saw Tyreek Hill on that touchdown pass motion all the way across the field before he went straight up. He was already on the move. It was a perfect play design by Mike McDaniel. But at the same time, I think you have to look at this and say, okay, McDuffie got his own. And kind of going on that cornerback talk, let's look at basically what exactly happened in this entire game, because I think it's important to go back and look at the Tyreek Hill trade and look at this game. This is the first time that Tyreek Hill has played the Chiefs since being traded to Miami. He played him twice this year. He went 0-2. The pick that the Chiefs got for Tyreek Hill, that would be Trent McDuffie. And he stood on business tonight. He stood on business. Absolutely lit him up in the fourth quarter. I mean, Tyreek Hill, I have to be honest, he was in hell for a while. He could not get anything going. He only had, I believe, around 5 catches, and four of those catches went for just 9 yards. The one catch obviously going for 50. But I'm still baffled at the fact that the Chiefs paid Tyreek Hill 2 times this year. 2 times. The league leading wide receiver with over 1,400, 1,500 yards, whatever it was. And yet, the Chiefs, 63 yards in Germany, 62 yards last night. They held the best wide receiver in the NFL to less than 65 yards 2 times this year in 2 different situations. In Germany in a dome and in a freezing cold game last night. That is 2 different scenarios, and they did them both absolutely amazingly, and I loved what I saw. Now, I know that you're kind of sitting here thinking, well, I like all this, but how do I keep going with all the Chiefs news? Well, hit that subscribe button. That's what I'm saying, man. We're putting out videos every single day. I know you're kind of watching this, and we usually got graphics. We always got the stuff, but I just want to talk some Chiefs with y'all, and I think that's the best part about this channel. We're just here to talk Chiefs. We're here to have fun, and we're going to have more videos and better videos out the more we go throughout this week. So do me a favor, just go down, hit that subscribe button. I'd certainly appreciate it. We're putting in the work every single day. Obviously, can't be in the Chat Sports studio. Don't care. We're still putting out a video for you every single day. So do me a favor, go down, hit that little red subscribe button. I'd certainly appreciate it and get this train rolling. All right, let's kind of go into what is up next for this Kansas City Chiefs team. So I know if you watched last night's video, I said at the very end, but there are 2 possibilities for the Chiefs in the divisional round. And that's all going to fall on the Buffalo Bills and Steelers game that is now transformed from what would be happening right now, technically, to Monday evening or Monday afternoon. The two situations here. If Buffalo wins that game, then the Chiefs would have to go to Orchard Park and take on the Buffalo Bills, who, mind you, that Buffalo Bills-Chiefs game did happen once this year, happened in Arrowhead Stadium, and, well, we all know how that ended with the whole Kadarius Toney offsides rule, where Kelce caught the ball, lateraled back, Kelce got to Kadarius Toney on the lateral, scored a touchdown, but, oh wait, it was offsides, offensive offsides, which, I don't know about you, I hadn't really seen all year, and then I saw 4 of them in the next 2 weeks, so kind of crazy on that. Now, that's the one possibility. The other possibility here, the Steelers beat the Bills in an upset fashion, and the Chiefs get another home game. They'll take on the Houston Texans in Arrowhead next weekend. Now, again, we don't have the times for these just yet. Could be Saturday, could be Sunday. We don't know. But I have to ask this question because I think it's an interesting one because of how hot the Texans are and how hot the Bills are. Who would you rather play? Would you rather play the Buffalo Bills or would you rather play the Houston Texans? I want you to get in the comment section of this video. If you'd rather play the Houston Texans, then I want you to type T in the comments. If you'd rather play the Buffalo Bills, then I want you to type B in the comments. Let me know. I'm kind of intrigued. I think it's probably going to be a lot of T's just because you're at home. You're playing a team that has been, over the season, lesser than the Buffalo Bills. But these teams are both hot. And I will say this. I don't know how legitimate this could be. But if the Texans do move on, like as they did yesterday, and the Bills win, well, then you play the Bills in the divisional round. The Texans then beat the Ravens in the divisional round. The Arrowhead Invitational is back on, and you're facing the Houston Texans with a shot to go to the Super Bowl if you can take out the Buffalo Bills. It's still a possibility. We've talked about this all year, how there's a potential for the Chiefs to still kind of maneuver their way into what could be an amazing spot. And we know that the Ravens, whenever they get into a higher seed, the choke kind of comes into formation. And, well, we could be in that situation right now. Now, going back to last night's game, there's a lot of things that I think the Chiefs could do to improve on, but I do want to sit here and kind of praise them for a second because Coach Spags, he is not getting enough love in this league right now. He had 7 different coverages and 8 different line formations last night. That's insane. The way he was just able to maneuver, especially in the cold, he was disguising defenses. Tua could not do literally anything last night, and that was all because of Coach Spags. George Karlaftis off the edge had a couple of amazing plays, had a sack, another half sack. Chris Jones also got a half sack with Karlaftis. I mean, this team is firing on all cylinders, and I mentioned it a couple of videos back, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but either way, after that Bengals game, there was a certain aura to this team that kind of showed up again. There was a certain place where it was like, this is the Chiefs I kind of know. This is the feeling that I felt last year. Well, there's a similar kind of aspect to this. The Chiefs last year did not exactly have the greatest regular season. Was it better than this year? Well, of course, 100%. You only lost 3 games. This season, a little bit different. But they were not firing on all cylinders at all until the playoffs. Well, let's go look at this season. You don't have a good regular season. You lose games you shouldn't have lost. You had a bunch of really bad mishaps. The Packers game with the drop pass and the no pass interference. The Eagles game with MVS and his drop pass. The lateral play that didn't count because Kadarius Toney was offsides. There's been a lot of things that could change losses into wins within 1 second, 1 millisecond, 1 play, doesn't matter. And now you're in the playoffs, and that flip has switched. That switch has flipped, excuse me. But if you just kind of take a step back, this is exactly where we thought the Chiefs would be just 4 months ago. This is what we thought this Chiefs team could be. The offense, in a freezing cold game, mind you, scored 26 points. And they could have scored a lot more. They could have scored a lot more. Now, I know the Dolphins are kind of frauds. Their defense was literally not there. They had half of them injured. So I think you have to kind of take this with a little bit of a grain of salt. But you have to love the fire, the effort, and ultimately the just aura of the game last night. It was freezing cold. Arrowhead Stadium was popping. The Chiefs players on the sideline were having as much fun as they had in a 70-degree game in perfect weather against the Bears 3 months ago. It's the perfect time for the Chiefs to get going, and I love what they've done, and I hope they can keep going. But I think that's all we got for you. So make sure you hit that like button on this video. I know it's not the usual. We don't have the cool graphics, don't have the stats to pop up on all that stuff, but hey, We're still putting out videos for you every single day, 24/7. We're always here keeping up with the Chiefs. So do me a favor, go down, hit that like button. And without further ado, we're going to see you in the next video tomorrow. We'll have 2 out tomorrow. We're going to have an early one talking about any injury news we may get, some rumors, probably some news, and basically what we hear from potential interviews and all that stuff over the next 24 hours. And then at around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, as soon as that Bills-Steelers game is done, we're going to have a preview to put out for you for that game. So make sure you come back tomorrow, check out both those videos. But without further ado, Chiefs Kingdom, peace out, guys.